Session. It is September 19th, 2019 at 2018 at 6:30 p.m. The meeting is now called to order. If everyone could please stand for Pledge of Allegiance and prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you this evening with a humble heart, and we ask that and pray that you bless each and every one that's out here that's defending our country, defending our state, defending our cities, our first responders. We ask you that you look over our military that are home and abroad and keep them and protect them as best as possible. And we ask you in the city of Lawrence that we make the best decision possible for our city moving forward. Bless each and every one here and grant them safe passage to and from. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Okay, we have a quorum. Comments of council members and special recognitions or resolutions.
Madam President?
Yes, Councilor Williams.
Yes, I would like to say, typically I don't give shout outs and all that, but there was a situation that happened on my street and animal control. There was a young girl that got mauled by a pit bull yesterday, and the response from the police department was great. And animal control officer, I think Cherry is his name, Henry Cherry, handled that situation with the utmost professionalism and courtesy, despite the fact that that problem home presented some challenges. So I wanted to say thank you for that, because I went to the emergency room and saw the little girl there in the hospital, and, kids touched my heart, but the professionalism of the department was great. I also want to say on the 22nd of September, this Saturday, from noon to 4 o'clock, I'm hosting a back-to-school community day at Lawrence Park, and I wanted to invite each and every one of you counselors there and public to attend. It should be a great day, fun, interacting with kids and the community, and there's going to be some food and giveaways. Just a fun, free day for the community. And also, before each one of the counselors, there's a piece of paper or a couple of pieces of paper. It's about the GIS system. That Ms. Dawn was so gracious to me to explain and or express that we do have access to information for people that owns parcels in the city. So it's been in existence for a couple of years, a few years now, and she wanted me to share with the rest of you and or give you access to that. So I just wanted to make sure I share that with everyone.
Okay, thank you. Any other counselors?
Madam President?
Yes, Councilor Freeman.
Okay. This is just a reminder to lock your car doors in the driveways, especially at night. We have had a lot of car break-ins in the Kenniston Farm area and a car stolen from Sunnybrook. And also, I would like to thank Scott Salisbury for agreeing to do the information signs. I know you're pound for work and everything, but there are information signs that go into the city parks to let people know what park it is with the address on it. Also, the ordinance for the fireworks. And he agreed that that should be in the parks also. And let's see, that's it.
Thank you. Any other counselors?
Madam President,
Yes, Councilor Wells.
just wanting to make sure that I get clarification. when would the next availability for council members that are not on the Finance Committee to ask questions about the budget?
Okay, so council members will have the opportunity to ask questions about the budget by either attending the Finance Committee meetings, in which you are welcome to ask any questions during that time,
Right.
being a citizen of Lawrence. Also, all of you have the ability to email any questions or concerns to the controller or to the finance chair, or a combination of both. And thirdly, most importantly, we'll have the opportunity to discuss the budget at our next scheduled meeting, which I believe is October 1st.
So there won't be a Finance Committee meeting prior to that?
The Finance Committee meeting took place last week.
Right.
And if there's a need to schedule an additional Finance Committee meeting, I'm sure that the chair would be open to discuss that without putting him on the spot.
Okay, all right, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other counselors?
Madam President, to Councilor Wells, there's also a public hearing that's scheduled.
So there's the fourth public hearing.
In October.
On the budget.
I know it's in the budget book.
book, I don't have the
And it's
book.
on the
October
calendar.
1st at 6:30.
So, same day, so you can attend and ask, well, actually, we're doing the public hearing during the
During the-
council meeting. So it's the same meeting, so you'll have 3 opportunities.
Okay.
Any other counselors? Okay. Next on the agenda, signing of vouchers, approval of claims, and authorization of payment. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion, Counselor Parker.
I'll second.
Second, Counselor Giles. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor by show of hands? Unanimous? Next on the agenda is unfinished business. All proposals remain in committee. Next on the agenda is new business. Resolution number 7, 2018.
Resolution number 7, 2018, introduced by Councilors Chevlot and Williams, a resolution in support of the 2018 Marion County Multi-Hazard Mitigation Plan.
Yeah, I think we have a brief presentation. If we could do that first, that'd be great.
And we may have to,
Where's Jimmy?
what's that?
Where's Jimmy?
I know, that's my big question.
Well, that's what I was looking for.
So this is a very brief PowerPoint presentation that was going to be presented by Katie Robinson, who's the Director of the Office of Sustainability for the City of Indianapolis. She is in charge of the personnel who created this multi-hazard mitigation plan, the 2018 version. It is an updated version of the 2013 version. First of all, I want to thank you all for hearing this so quickly. We have a pending deadline that's looming on October 1st for the Indiana Department of Homeland Security to receive all 92 counties. They will then, it's my understanding, they will then vet all of those, review all of those plans, and then send them to FEMA for a November 1st deadline. So if you're okay with it, I think I've communicated with all of you via email or via phone. I'd like to have Mrs. Robinson maybe just, although you can't see the PowerPoint, this will be a guide for you, and you can kind of present.
That's fine. If you can give us, if you can give us a high-level overview and some of the major points, that'd be great, the city of Indianapolis.
Absolutely. I'll turn it around. I'll advance it a little bit here for one slide in particular. But again, as the chief said, good evening, Madam President. My name is Katie Robinson. I'm the Director of the Office of Sustainability for the City of Indianapolis. I am here to present the 2018 update to the Multi-Hazard Mitigation Plan, which is indeed a multi-jurisdiction plan for Marion County. The MHMP rather, protects people and property from the effects of hazards such as tornadoes or extreme temperatures by developing strategies to reduce and eliminate long-term risk. Through this planning process, we have assessed hazards that threaten our community and identified and prioritized strategies to reduce potential impacts. So what is hazard mitigation? It means any action taken to reduce or eliminate the long-term risk to human life and property from natural hazards. The federal government does indeed require that the updated plan be approved by the City County Council of Indianapolis and Marion County every 5 years and the surrounding jurisdictions. This is to ensure Marion County's continued access to federal funding and disaster insurance. You might be familiar with the federal insurance program, flood insurance program, excuse me. The City County Council and joining jurisdictions approved the last required update in 2013. The surrounding jurisdictions of Beech Grove, Indianapolis, Southport, and Speedway to date have adopted this plan, and I appreciate you considering it this evening. Following complete approval, as the chief indicated, we will submit the plan to the State Department of Homeland Security. They will have 1 month to review the plan, and then we will submit to FEMA, and they will review it in 30 to 45 days, which seems very aggressive. This is my first planning process. The Office of Sustainability, in collaboration with the Office of Public Health and Safety, IMPD, IFD, and numerous other county stakeholders, developed this update. At this time, we've expanded our stakeholder participation to include several external partners not previously at the table, like the Airport Authority, Indigo, IPL, and Visit Indy, who have a vested interest in and a responsibility to protect the health and safety of our residents and visitors. As part of Thrive Indianapolis, which I will discuss momentarily, we have hosted several meetings to encourage community participation in the development of this update. We will continue to do so through the month of October. On June 6th, specifically, we hosted a meeting to discuss the multi-hazard mitigation plan with National Resilience expert Kristen Baja. Roughly 40 members of the public were in attendance. This 2018 update to the multi-hazard mitigation plan was prepared in conjunction with Thrive Indianapolis. Thrive Indianapolis is an effort, which, by the way, you can visit at thriveindianapolis.com, is an effort to advance sustainability and future livability of Indianapolis and Marion County. The 2018 Multi-Hazard Mitigation Plan is also a foundational element of Thrive Indianapolis, ensuring that residents and neighborhoods across the city and county are adequately prepared for existing and future threats. We often refer to them as shocks and stressors, and also opportunities. In other words, that our community is simply more resilient. The 2018 Marion County Multi-Hazard Mitigation Plan evaluates a total of 15 hazard profiles and for the first time ever, 2 cross-cutting themes. It's really not going to help if I turn this around. It's a lovely graphic, though. But you'll see here that I'm not going to read them all to you because I know that you're probably very familiar with hazard mitigation. But that could be anything from drought to winter storm and ice, tornadoes, extreme temperatures. And in the blue here, you'll notice that we added 5 new hazards. Those are climate-related hazards that we anticipate, because of research that has been offered to us, that we will continue to experience on an increasing rate. So that would include air quality, impacts to our air quality, increased heat waves. I mean, has summer just lasted forever? And the urban heat island effect. In addition to regional and national displacement, some of you might recall Hurricane Katrina. We, in the city of Indianapolis and in Marion County, accepted 3,000 Hurricane Katrina refugees. In many cases, the neighborhoods, one of the things, let me back up a second. We did add the 2 cross-cutting themes of climate change and also social vulnerability. So bringing equity to this planning process was very important to us. In many cases, the neighborhoods least equipped to handle the effects of catastrophic events end up with more consequences than if the same hazard impacted more affluent neighborhoods. Throughout this plan, the thermometer and globe icon is used to denote how hazard has already been impacted by climate conditions, such as increasing temperatures or extreme weather events, and how these impacts are projected to be influenced by future scenarios. So I will show you an example. I know that you received this very, very late, but it will give you a sense. So each hazard is broken down. This one is tornadoes. And it's simplified to give people that are reading the plan, so whether it's the general public or our public safety partners, an idea of what the hazard is. We also tried to be very thoughtful in including something that may have recently happened. For instance, there was a tornado in June of 2014 that came through Speedway. So drawing an example of how that impacted that neighborhood. And then also the mitigation strategies to better prepare our community to deal with those types of hazards in the future. So that gives you a sense of the plan. It is very large, as the chief's email indicated last night, but it's wonderful bedtime reading, I promise. So that's really all that I have. If you've got any questions, I'm happy to answer those if that's appropriate.
Yes, if any council members have questions, feel free.
I have one. As I was reading through this when I was first asked to look this over, and thank you, Council Williams, for joining me in this, because I figured with his background this would be helpful. But I read in here that, this was first back in 2013, was last approved, but I don't recall this coming before the City of Lawrence in 2013, so.
And I appreciate that question. We do have a record of documentation that each jurisdiction was at least visited, if not adopting this plan. We were encouraged by FEMA to actually visit each one of our jurisdictions and have it be formally adopted.
Okay.
Councilor, that also is, I think, reflective of what's in the Code of Federal Regulations in terms of cities individually. You know, the feds are not aware of UNIGOV. That's not a concept
Very true.
to them.
Yeah.
So they just see you as a city. They see Speedway as a city. So when I looked at federal law, it made sense to me that this should be adopted, just like the Indianapolis City County Council has done.
As a city, yeah, when I saw that 2013, I thought, wait, I don't recall this being presented as an.
I also felt like it was important to come and present to you. I mean, these are, I don't want to say that they're templates per se. There is a lot of templated language that comes into a planning process like this that FEMA requires that we talk about and requires that we say. But because we were adding in 5 new hazards that were climate specific, and because we did something very different for our community and adding those 2 cross-cutting themes, I wanted to make sure that everyone in our county was very comfortable with the process that we did. Because it was something that we did very quickly, even though we've done it over a year. A planning process like this it's significant. So we wanted to make sure we had the appropriate buy-in.
Excuse me, Madam President.
Yes, Councilor Giles.
First, I want to apologize that I have not had an opportunity to read the proposal. So please excuse my ignorance if my question is off the line. But with all the recent things going on, as far as, you know, with natural disasters and things like that, I did have the pleasure, about a year ago, I guess, to hear the speaker, to hear the general who was over the recovery in New Orleans. He's on the speakers series, and I can't think of his name right now. But one of the things that he spoke about that he felt like was so critical, and I wonder, is this plan it? Is this plan really all about coordinated efforts throughout the county on our local piece, really before FEMA, before the feds kind of come? Is that what this is about?
It is about making sure that everyone understands where we are most vulnerable in our county. So of those 15 hazards, we completely took apart what was done in 2013 and said, what are we going to experience in Marion County? And how do we need to make sure that our public safety partners are adequately prepared for those hazards?
Okay, so let me ask you this last question, and I think you've already answered it from something you said that sparked me from what he said. And this is what I'm going to say. It's not rocket science, but unfortunately, it seems from what he said, everybody fails at this. Getting to your most impoverished neighborhoods right away, almost ignoring the ones that are wealthy because those people can kind of take care of themselves, is pretty much what he was saying. So I hope in this plan, without reviewing it, and if I do read it, I don't like necessarily agreeing. I know this is much bigger than me, but I hope and pray that we have some vulnerable citizens here in our city in Lawrence, and I hope that I'm adopting a plan, sight unseen, that is addressing my most vulnerable constituents in Lawrence, which most of them live in my district. So, you know, I'm going to sign off on this. But if something happens tragic and my people on 46th Street are not taken care of, I will personally go see Mr. Hogsett myself. Okay? And I mean that.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
The 2013 planning process, when I actually read the 2013 plan, which was a much smaller document, it was very infrastructure focused. And while I did not like do an actual search in the document for how many times the word people were brought up or our community, it's not something that resonated with me. And what the mayor made incredibly clear to me through the multi-hazard mitigation process and through Thrive Indianapolis was, how is this going to impact our community? How are our people going to be served? That was very clear. It is a national standard now because of the unfortunate events that have occurred. Katrina is the example, unfortunately. Puerto Rico is becoming, right. Houston is another one, absolutely. It is, you do not do a planning process like this anymore without considering the people it impacts.
Thank you. Thank you. I really, truly want to say thank you.
Any other counselors? Counselor Wells.
I just, as Counselor Giles pointed out, I work, and I didn't have the time to read it either. But one of the things that in listening to you and the questions that are asked, if there is a disaster of sorts, of some sort, what is the trigger mechanism that you guys kick in? Is it, I mean, who declares that? Would it be our mayor? Would it be our governor? Would it be federal?
I think that's dependent upon the disaster. My awareness of this, I am simply a mitigation planner. I don't work for emergency management. So I might rely on the chief to answer that question, but our EOC, Emergency Operations Center, would be activated, and you would see, dependent on the type of hazard and dependent on what the situation is, they will then activate the appropriate personnel to adequately respond to that disaster.
So you're saying this could be activated by our police department?
It is, well, it's going to be dependent on the, say it again. It's part of the Emergency Operations Center, and it's dependent on the type of hazard that it is and where it's located. If it happens right here in Lawrence, my understanding is that obviously the county will come together to provide adequate support, but your mayor would be the one that would sort of be heading things up. Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Any other counselor? Any questions for the chief? Thank you so much for your time and information. We appreciate it.
Yes, thank you, Katie.
Good? Okay, I think we're good. All right, is there a motion?
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion to adopt this resolution.
Okay, I'll second it.
Second?
You got 2 seconds.
Oh, okay.
Motion, and I'm gonna defer to Counselor Williams as the co-sponsor.
Thank you.
So, first, it's been motioned by Counselor Chevlot and second by Counselor Williams. All in favor by a show of hands?
Just any other motion second, and any further questions? I just want to thank you for accelerating getting this on the agenda. We really appreciate it because we found these deadlines out, well, in a very short order. So I appreciate you making an exception for this. I really do.
No problem.
I'm sure Counselor Williams feels the same.
Yep.
No problem. This was important for our city, so I think that I didn't get any pushback from any other counselors. I think we all understood the gravity of the situation and the time-sensitive nature. So thank you all for being in full support of adding this to the agenda tonight. So motion, Counselor Chevlot. Any further discussion, though, before I go? No? Okay. Motion, Counselor Chevlot. Second, Counselor Williams. All in favor by show of hands? Unanimous? We're adjourned.
Oh, you scared me.
I did that for my husband, just to